All right, every once in a while, the my recommended feed seems to actually be pretty good because I came across this one video, and I'm gonna give a shout out to LSX Magazine. They were at SEMA, I think it was this show, and come across a company called Blueprint. Never heard of them. There's a ton of companies out there, but they're making an awesome product, and I wanted to get your guys' feedback on this because I don't know how to feel about this. So basically, we're taking an LS3, and it's not a GM crate engine. It's their own parts internally and externally. They'll cover it here in a little bit. I'm not going to go through the whole video, but I'm going to leave all the videos for all the content creators involved. So, anyways, I think that this is going to be a pretty badass deal. Under 20 grand. And it is everything but you just need to put on a cold air intake. So it's a throttle body and that's it. So cold air intake, and then you need to have a custom drive shaft made for your project. Dump it in, run it. Comes with the ECM, the harness, tuned through HP tuners, the transmission, and a long block engine with the serpentine system. Under 20 grand. That's pretty good. Comes in one piece on a crate engine. I think that this is going to be super, super good. For any of you that have like a hot rod project or wanting to like modernize or bring a modern drivetrain in, I'm going to be honest with you. Just the ZZ632 crate engine alone is $42,000. So keep that in mind when you hear this, because there is a ton of headroom or massive potential in this. So let's get into it. I'm going to drag them in here. Boom. I'm going to try to make this video as short as I can. I'm going to make him a little larger there. All right, let's go.
Casey here with LSX Magazine. We are here at the Blueprint booth at SEMA 2025 with the product of the year for best car and show product. Is that right?
Best hot rod product.
Best hot rod product. Okay.
Which is perfect.
Perfect, yeah. So we have a 376 cubic inch LS engine here, 500 horsepower, 440 torque. Tell me all about your baby here.
Well, the cool part about this engine, it comes with our version of a ZF transmission installed on it. So this is a factory new ZF transmission that we work directly with Zeta for. Okay. And it's about a 2-year project where we actually had engineers from Italy come to our shop and teach us how to calibrate for that transmission. So it's really, it's all OEM kind of great stuff. 8-speed transmission. We developed a shifter. We found out after we had the transmission done that nobody had a shifter that we could buy. So we had to, we had to go to a shifter manufacturer to make one. It's a nice shifter. Here's the wonderful part about it, though. You talk about an electronic transmission, no linkage, right? It's like kind of spooky and kind of scary.
Yes.
But the reality is you just plug the cord into there and you're done, right? You can mount this anywhere where that wiring harness will reach to. It's super simple. The transmission is done. It's ready to go. It's all bolted on. Unlike our competitors, we don't ship out engines and transmissions in 5 or 6 boxes. We literally bolt it all on at our factory and it goes out in one piece.
That's pretty cool because this transmission, not only is it used in like Hellcats or whatever, this thing's used in a ton of cars across Europe, like the Maserati Gran Turismo, the older ones with the, I can't remember the engine code on it, but the ones that Ferrari built, I think it was the 4.2 or 4.8, I can't remember. I'd have to do some homework. But these transmissions are in a ton of vehicles. And if you do any homework on them with a minor upgrade kit, any transmission shop can build them. They can handle over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque really easy. To come at this price point, that's pretty sick, especially for the domestic guys.
Wow, headache free. So you get the LS and you get the transmission. As awesome as the ZF is, let's work our way back there. What do we got going on up here? So this
is our version of an LS3 style engine. There's virtually no GM components in it, so we can't say it's a GM engine or say it's an LS3 because that's a GM.
Gotcha, okay.
So we say compatible, but what that means is interchanges. Parts are interchangeable. We've got our cast aluminum intake manifold on here.
Cast aluminum. And here's the thing that I wanted to point out. I'm not really going to get into the build. As a matter of fact, I might skip a little bit further ahead because I'll leave a link to the video. Don't worry. But the thing is this thing is very upgradable because you're getting a cast aluminum intake I mean, those things just for like for my LT4, those things are $5,000, for a billet. But I'm saying anything over the plastic that can handle a little bit of boost is a massive upgrade, especially because the block on this thing is cast iron. So super upgradable for a very affordable price, especially when you dump it in, drive the balls off of it, blow it up or whatever, if it ever will blow up. And then you can upgrade it and throw a couple twin turbos on it, or throw a turbo on it, or some whatever. This thing is I think this is kind of a sleeper, and I think this is a very slept on product. So, as a matter of fact,
Nice manifold, super awesome performance. Our LS style block, or an iron block, it's an awesome example of a LS style engine.
I just want to hear if he's going to talk about the Serpentine.
Can you custom order a horsepower level with these at all, or is this kind of what?
Because there's really, and then my competitor has different prices for each one, but it's all the same parts. So we just said, no, let's just make one version.
Yeah, let's
make it over 500 horsepower.
Let's skip ahead.
Keep the price point.
It's basically LS3 top.
The temperature right. We check for vibration. So we're doing a reasonable
He's
test.
talking about the
We don't dyno tune them, because we don't know where you're going to live, right?
Yeah.
So carbureted engine is going to need tune based on elevation.
And then do those dyno sheets go shipped out with the engine?
The actual engine you get the dyno sheet that came off of that run.
Wow.
It'll tell you the day and the time and the temperature and what the parameters were and how you did.
Gotcha. Now with the ZF, what made you guys want to go ZF? Other than everyone just using them, what is so special about it that made you guys really want to hone in on that?
So, number one, the primary choices in the aftermarket are typically used or rebuilt transmissions, and a lot of times they're upgraded. And we sell those engines. We have great vendors for transmissions, but they are rebuilt performance transmissions. And we wanted to have a new transmission. And quite honestly, we were afraid we were going to outgrow the supply. Right? So if you're using a 4L or a 700R4 or whatever, eventually they get hard to get because the cases are all broke, the parts are not available. So we didn't want to have that problem, and so we're transitioning from remanufactured performance transmission to a brand
in-house.
To a brand new transmission. And 8 speeds, the market doesn't really want 4 speeds.
Yeah.
They want 8 or 10.
Yep.
And ZF has a great reputation. All those Stellantis vehicles that they built in the teen years all had 8-speed ZF transmissions in them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're a great transmission. Our housing is different.
Look how small and compact it is. That's pretty good for an automatic.
So this is 510, 515 horsepower. You're saying is this case good for a higher limit than that? If
it does have limitations, but they're super conservative because their limitation is based on the idea that you're going to make 100,000 of these engines and transmissions, and you never want one to fail. So we have a higher rating, and we will bolt this behind the 427 LS style engine. So
it's pretty good.
It's probably not the way it's configured here good for a supercharged engine. In that case, we would probably actually just upgrade this unit. So we'd have a brand new transmission that we put a little better stuff in.
Yeah, but still keeping that ZF.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's all run by one ECM, and ECM controls the engine, controls the transmission. It's a little bit of a proprietary ECM because we needed to be able to run this transmission. We're working with HP tuners to give access to our
great
customers.
name to work with.
Yep. So they're creating a portal so you can get in and do some calibration work on our ECM and make that drivability just perfect. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
Most tuners be able to touch it too.
It's as close as we can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally have, probably 5,000 miles on this setup. And calibrating it with a laptop in the car.
Okay.
So it's
really.
So they pretty much go on and just conclusion to the whole video. But the thing is like this thing's really cool because the ZF, I don't know, man. I think that this might be the way to go. I think this might be the new fad. So after I found this clip, then I thought, oh, hey, I remember Justin talking about that. Reminded me of a clip on the Bo Getty podcast. Oh, let me just add it in here. Then I'm just going to play this one little couple minute clip. But this is very good validation as to backing up the ZF LS3 combo because it's pretty much like the best of both worlds type scenario. You know what I'm saying? So And we got a company out there that's kicking these things out the door for a very, very affordable price.
But for GM, you can't find that. And it just seems like GM's trying to lock it more and more and more for we know why.
Yeah, I don't think they want to though. I think they're pressured to.
That's what I was talking with Aiden earlier today, and he's like, well, it just doesn't seem like beneficial to them, right? Because if they would want you to be able to access it, but I think that it's got to be the government basically pushing on them, making them lock these things down. They've got to know it's killing the market.
Well, that's how I feel because, you know, if they see BMW suddenly are growing in popularity and you look at that because they have eyes as well, and you're like, oh, well, they're growing because people can modify them. They want a piece of that. They're in business to sell. They're in business to raise their stock price. They want a piece of selling those.
Well, but the only thing that really gets me on, say, for GM side is, if you remember, Dodge was the hard one to tune before.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get into a Dodge to save your life. And GM was cake. Now it's like kind of reversed. GM is really locked up and Dodge is like, come and get it. So, but the Dodge stuff, I mess with the Hellcats a little bit. The transmission, I mean, if you compare the GM trans, because most of the GM stuff, we're just making the adjustment that we know is going to work, but the tables aren't defined properly, in my opinion.
Yeah, just a mislabeling issue more.
You tell it to do something, it does it. Immediately. It is probably one of the most responsive transmissions I've ever messed with.
Same on HP tuners still.
That's using HP tuners.
Yeah.
Yeah. That 8-speed is ahead of the community that kills the Dodge.
He did go on to talk about the Hellcat and how, you know, the 60 to 130 times and how much it improved just by adjusting the transmission. But this ZF transmission, I've heard a lot about it in other, it was in other brands. And, you know, it's not my real thing. I like US cars. It came in the Dodges, but everybody was talking about the complexity and how much of a pain in the ass Dodges are to tune and everything. I don't have a problem owning a Dodge, but you know, when you're like really limited on shops and stuff like this, and you know, then the community and everything, it just dogpiled and then it stacked up and everything. So it kind of got me thinking, but this combo is very, very interesting. I found one more clip that really, as far as the locking out and everything goes. Now, this is a good clip that I found, and it actually, what they're doing with the data and what other companies have investigated on and found. This channel I've found, and I have all the homework and research that I've done, she seems to be right on the money with. But I just wanted to, for the people that are hardcore hellbent, I mean, if you already have a 10-speed or a 6-speed in your project, cool. But if you're starting from scratch, this might be the way to go, because it's like the best of both worlds with zero commitment to anything. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a good, even for a guy like me. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm going to play this clip, talk about the data, talk about everything, because what she's talking about in this clip right here is the right to repair being under attack, and they're coming for it again. And this explains a lot why GM is doing what they're doing with the E99 ECU, everything that they've done to the C8, the black wings, yada, yada, and so on. So I'm going to let her talk about it for a little bit.
For decades, repairing a car was straightforward. Plug in the OBD2 port, standardized since 1996, and you could read the diagnostic codes, identify issues, and fix them. Owners and technicians had direct access to the data needed for maintenance and repairs, and this system fueled a competitive aftermarket, kept costs down, and gave consumers real choices. Today's vehicles are rolling computers on wheels, some with hundreds of processors and multiple computers on board. Data no longer comes solely from a port. It streams wirelessly through the telematics system, the center screen. And in 2021, 50% of the cars already had this connectivity. And by 2030, it's projected that 95% of vehicles sold globally will include it. That wireless data flows straight to the manufacturer, which becomes the sole gatekeeper, deciding who gets access, when, and at what price. And independent shops are left scrambling for scraps or paying steep fees for limited tools and information and computers. This forces car owners to get their vehicles repaired solely at a car dealer. And telematics enables remote diagnostics and even over-the-air repairs without a shop visit. So this could be something that could help consumers. The benefits for owners are faster fixes, predictive maintenance. Well, those are real, but when manufacturers hoard the data, those advantages flow mainly to the dealerships and not to you. The consumer is hit with higher costs, fewer choices, and privacy risks because manufacturers control the data, which creates clear, measurable downside for drivers. Costs rise because independent repair shops grow more expensive or impossible with information on your car. And shops pass on fees for manufacturer-approved tools and subscriptions, turning a $100 diagnostic into a dealer-only expense or really expensive to go to an independent repair shop. And this makes the choices shrink when your trusted local mechanic can't access telematics data, funneling you to the dealership and threatening the 273,000 independent repair shops that employ 900,000 technicians and service most of America's 293 million vehicles. There are privacy issues as well. The data, your habits, location, and performance streams, that goes directly to the manufacturers who can sell it to insurers, advertisers, the government, and others, often without clear consent. You're unknowingly generating revenue for Big Auto just by turning the key or pushing the button. And this may be part of the reason that car makers want that information all to themselves. And in some states lacking strong right to repair laws, shops already report being blocked from repairing newer models, forcing owners into costlier dealership services, and that's their only option. The independent repair shop sector drives an economic engine. Without data access, aftermarket parts makers...
Well, I'm not going to let her... You can talk about independent repair, because that's the video's really not on par with what we're talking about today. But the thing was the data, the privacy. And that's why I wanted to play that little clip is you don't have that with this setup. There's no CAN bus system that's going to be snitching on you. You know what I mean? This is a standalone deal that runs in a hot rod, and you're going to get the best of both worlds because you're going to get a modern shifting unit that which a company is not trying to lock out every little nook and cranny or every little pit or file. And it's going to give you the keys to the city and say, here you go, do whatever you want. And your tuner selection is going to go way up. There is going to be none of the big brother stuff involved with this. It's like a win-win-win. You're going to get the reliability of a Chevy LS3. You'll be able to get parts down at any O'Reilly or Napa or wherever you decide to get your parts from. And it's so easily tunable, and there's so many combinations out there. All the parts that come on this thing seem to be pretty... I'm not going to say it's the best of quality, but even if you want to climb or add power to it, you can still reuse a ton of those components and just keep on going for a extreme budget. So you guys tell me what you think. I don't know. I'm about it. I really like it. I think this blueprint might have really hit the home run with this one, because it's a lot of options, a lot of power. It's going to sound good. It's going to be reliable, and it's going to be extremely tunable. That's key. And you're not going to have any big brother involved with it. I'm all about it. I can't see it for what, $19.99 or something. Just $20,000. So anyways, drop a comment. You guys tell me, like it, subscribe it. Bye.